Hey, Shalom, this is your brother Yawanathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. I got a clip I want to show you guys, and we'll go from there. All right, so let me get my camera going here. Bear with me. Be the back camera. All right. Okay. This clip I want to show you guys. Let me see if I can get the volume up.
There's a lot of people who are very enamored with trees. We've got trees on this stage. Some people would even say that if you just planted enough trees, it could take care of the climate issue altogether.
And that's complete nonsense.
Okay.
I mean, are we the science people or are we the idiots? Which one do we want to be? He loves to giggle when he lies. Trees put out carbon dioxide and oxygen, mainly oxygen. They clean the atmosphere. They're amazing. You instinctively love them. You know they're good. Trees are bad. You got me, Bill Gates. But that's the reality. You tell the average person they're doing this. But remember, they're targeting children right now in school. I have articles here. They teach kids. You think trees are good? No, they're bad. And so is.
All right, so you know they're teaching these lies, like the scriptures say, man. Train up a child in the way that he should go. When they get older, they should not depart from it. So they're giving a foundation of wickedness to our children. All right. Obviously, the Lord created trees to purify the waters, to purify the earth. That's in the scriptures. But this man will have you to believe otherwise. This man will have you to believe that his creation is self-destructive. No, the earth was made in perfection. It was commissioned by the Most High and created by the Elohim, the powers, to be in perfection, to be self-sustaining. But he's, again, you got to realize he's trying to put his own imprint on the Lord's creation. He's trying to overcome prophecy, which is why he wants to put a charagma in people. He wants to alter their DNA. He wants to make everything his property. Okay?
Grass, but he cuts down and clear cuts everything and puts these huge solar farms everywhere, but there's no life. But that's good. That's good. And of course, it's extremely toxic, the mining process to get the stuff for solar panels, but it's okay. I mean, are we the science people or are we the idiots?
This is a low-income neighborhood in Phoenix, Arizona. I went there in the worst part of summer to find out why neighborhoods like this one are so much hotter than the rich neighborhoods that you can find just a few miles north of there. We filmed these neighborhoods with a thermal drone. The hot parts are yellow and orange, and the cooler parts are pink and purple. And it didn't take long to figure out that the difference is plants.
And that's complete
In
nonsense.
poor neighborhoods, people don't own their land, and they don't have extra money to spend watering trees. So the sun just beams into paved surfaces. Most people who live here also don't own cars, so they're walking in the heat like these folks are that you see there. It was 117 degrees Fahrenheit. In rich neighborhoods, there's this layer of living infrastructure that has a significant cooling effect. It puts people there in a better position to handle these extreme heat events that are becoming more frequent. This disparity is called tree equity. And if you live in the US, there's a site where you can look up how trees are distributed where you live too.
So nothing that the wicked say is to be trusted. And this guy is one of the pawns of the wicked. He's one of the pawns of the upper echelon of the nation of Edom. All right. So these are the kind of decrees that they're trying to push in the earth. When you go to Isaiah 10:1, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. This man is trying to justify, they're justifying the destruction of life. Oh, we don't need the real food on your farms. We'll pay you and we'll buy your land up and we're going to give the people GMOs. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed. All right. And actually, let's read that in the NLT, actually. Let's go to Isaiah 10:1 and read it in the NLT. Back up a few chapters here. Bear with me, guys. Why loads? Isaiah 10:1 in the NLT. Okay, it reads, what sorrow awaits the unjust judges, and the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, pursuing to Job 9:24. All right. The same people who were ruling during the Lord's time, they're ruling again today. All right, the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Talks about that in 2 Thessalonians. All right, let's actually let me back up what I'm saying. I'm gonna read that really quick because the wicked they're being revealed. There's a nation of people who carry out wickedness upon the earth, just like the Lord has a chosen people who are going to carry out righteousness upon the planet earth. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 7 says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Okay. Who was ruling during the Lord's time? The Romans were ruling. And then shall that wicked, this is verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. All right, when you go to 2nd Esdras, I believe the 13th chapter, it talks about the fashion in which the nations, the powers that be, are going to be destroyed. The Lord's going to come back with his chariots. He's going to come back as a power. He told them that when he comes back, he's not going to meet them as a man as he did the first time. Shall consume them with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy them with the brightness of his coming. It's going to be an angelic invasion. So in the midst of Armageddon, World War III, which is going to take place in the valley of Jehoshaphat, like it talks about in Joel, the 3rd chapter, the Lord's going to come there to plead with the nations. We're seeing the foundations of that being set up now. We're seeing the foundations of these major end time prophecies play out now. And the only people that have the for sure breakdown and match all the prophecies up in detail are the brothers of Great Millstone, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and those who come in the same spirit, the same doctrine. They have no guile in their mouth, meaning no deceit, like it talks about in Revelation the 14th. And they're not attached to this world in any way, meaning they can't be manipulated by the desires of this world. I say this, I feel like I've been saying it every lesson. If you want to control a person, you give them what they want or you take it away. What do the elect of the Lord want? They want the kingdom of heaven. That can't be given to them by a person or an entity in this world. It can only be given to us by Yahweh Shai. So we cannot be manipulated by the powers of this world because they have nothing that we want. There's nothing they can take away or give us that we desire. And that's why the scriptures tell you that he that loves his life shall lose it, paraphrasing. And it says that the elect hate not their own lives unto the death. They're not able to be manipulated because they're completely detached from this world. And brothers, even some of the brothers in the camps, the Lord is still molding us to get to that point. We are detached from this world, but it's going to have to be even more so to stand in that great boldness that we're going to have to stand in, because this devil's not going to play fair, man. He's going to be throwing low blows, and we're still going to have to strive lawfully. He's going to spin things that are completely not true about you. He's going to take away brothers' livelihood so they can't, really function within this society. But that's what the Lord wants. The Lord wants us to be in a position to where we have to completely rely on him and trust him. We're going to be put in low positions, but we're going to have to operate, upright the same way Job did. Job lost everything, man. And then on top of that, the devil left his wife alive to tell him what? Curse the Lord and die, to antagonize him at his lowest point. But Job didn't sit with his lips. Job 2:10, he said, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. Shall we receive good from the hands of God and not evil? The Lord is balanced. We're going to be tried in the furnace of adversity, and we're going to come out acceptable men. Okay? Now, back to Isaiah 10:1 in the NLT. It says, what sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws. They deprive the poor of justice. Israel has received no justice on this side. But like the scriptures say, when the Lord returns, which is what we look for, he's going to return with healing in his wings. All right, verse 2 again. They deprive the poor of justice and deny the rights of the needy among my people. They prey on widows and take advantage of orphans. What will you do when I punish you, when I send disaster upon you from a distant land? To whom will you turn for help? Where will your treasures be safe? And this devil's going to cough up all the treasures that he stole. And the destruction is going to come from a far country. The Lord is going to use Magog, Gog and Magog to do it. He's going to use Russia, and and the nations joined with him. And he's even going to have this devil's allies turn on him. And it's going to be beautiful to see. Abaratazah, we get delivered out of this thing. But even if not, man, as long as this thing is over, I'll rejoice. Because, you know, if you're an Israelite, even if you're a 2/3, man, you're gonna get judged. And the Lord can stretch the time out on you to where it seems like forever. But at the end of it, you're gonna be in the kingdom. You're gonna have a vessel to where you can no longer do wrong. You're gonna have the laws written within your inward parts, and you're gonna enjoy life because this isn't living. This is existing. Okay? But Babylon has to be destroyed. It's gonna be taken down. And you know, you have a lot of scoffers out there. Let's get into it. You got a lot of scoffers out there who would think about Babylon in the scriptures. They're thinking about, oh, that's ancient Babylon. It already fell. No, you have mystery Babylon. A future kingdom reference to is Babylon the Great. And the fashion in which that kingdom gets destroyed is by fire. It's by fire. It's not going to be transferred or infiltrated on like a black ops mission and transfer it to another power. That's what happened in ancient Babylon. People don't know the history. Let's go. We're in Isaiah already. Let's go to, I'm going to switch over back to the KJV. Isaiah 13. Let me get it here. Isaiah 13 and 19. Actually, man, hold on. I'm gonna start at the top. Isaiah 13 and 1. It says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift up ye a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Now, the thing about prophecy in the scriptures, it'll jump from past to future. And you have to have the eyesight out to be able to discern what it's doing. Now we jump down to verse I'm gonna read verse 11 and 12 real quick. I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And this is the most evil time. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, not just any man, but a man of the Lord. Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. Okay, so the day of the Lord, that's something to come, because that's going to be the worst time. That time is going to be worse than any time documented or undocumented, pursuant to Matthew 24 and 21 and Daniel 12 and 1. Okay, now we jump down to verse 19 here in Isaiah 13. It says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, and kingdoms, cities, people are always regenerated. Now this Babylon the Great, this mystery Babylon, it will be likened unto the ancient Babylon. Shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Now when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, how was that done? It was by fire. You could still go over to the where those cities were, and they say when you crack open the rubble, you can see the sulfur. You could see that it was a tremendous heat that melted down that place. What do they say? The radiation levels today are still higher than a more recent event of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the two cities that America bombed in Japan. There are people that are still alive when that happened. They're alive today, and they can remember when that happened. Sodom and Gomorrah was ages ago, right? But the radiation levels are still higher. Take that in. So what the Lord has, the technology he has, far outdoes what this devil could do. He's coming back with the big boys. All right. You know, Esau, he prides himself on his weaponry, but nothing that he could do outdoes what the Lord does. All right. Now I want to just to back that up, let me go get some history. I got an article for you. All right. So even in the secular history, and what you find out is the scriptures, it's the most reliable source to go to when you're trying to line history up and see what really happened, because you're getting the perspective from you're getting a divine perspective of the history. You see? Let me see here. This is an article from worldhistory.org. It says in 539 BCE, the empire fell. It's talking about the Babylonian Empire, how they fell to the Persians. In 539 BCE, the empire fell to the Persians under Cyrus the Great. Did a lesson on him a while back, maybe like a week or two ago. At the Battle of Opis, Babylon's walls were impregnable, and so the Persians cleverly devised a plan whereby they diverted the course of the Euphrates River so that it fell to a manageable depth. While the residents of the city were distracted by one of their great religious feast days, all right, and then we're going to go to Daniel, the 5th chapter, to get the account in the scriptures of how this happened. While the residents, because you get the perspective from the Persians, but then in the scriptures we get the Babylonian perspective. So we get the inside scoop from a different POV, and we get to see the true power that was at work on both sides. Because when I did that lesson on Cyrus the Great, his whole upbringing, because it was a prophecy in his land that he would overtake his grandfather and become king. The man's whole, and his grandfather had a dream that his daughter, that a bunch of roots start coming out of her womb and covered his whole kingdom and gripped it. And his magi's and diviners, they broke down his dream for him, and they said, your grandson's going to overthrow you. Right? So he tried to kill Cyrus, but I got to go back and do the lesson, but they hid him. They hid the child, and they gave him another baby. They did a little switcheroo on him, so that, and then eventually, when they found out it was his grandson, he was like a teenager. They was playing this game called King of the Court, and go back and watch the lesson, because I ran the clip and I went through the lesson, man. But they were playing a game called King of the Court, and he smoked one of the noble's children, and he overtook the game or whatever. And they said, oh, well, the prophecy was fulfilled, that little game he played. But as he got older, he actually did what the prophecy said, and he overtook the Persian Empire with him and his uncle, because the grandfather killed his uncle's son and fed him to him unknowingly. So the uncle helped Cyrus the Great overthrow the grandfather. It was like a hosh-posh summary, but yeah, that's what happened. So Cyrus the Great, the Lord orchestrated his life, when you look at it, for him to be in position to overthrow the Babylonians. But in Daniel, the 5th chapter, when we go get it, you'll see the both sides, that the Lord was at work on both sides. The Lord controls both sides, and that's why this devil, he tries to control both sides of every war with his money system. He's trying to be like the Most High, but he can't do it like the Most High. Okay, it says in 539 BCE, the empire fell to the Persians under Cyrus the Great at the Battle of Opis. Babylon's walls were impregnable, so the Persians cleverly devised a plan whereby they diverted the course of the Euphrates rivers, that it fell to a manageable depth. While the residents of the city were distracted by one of their great religious feast days, the Persian army waded the river and marched under the walls of Babylon unnoticed. I don't see any mention of fire, a complete destruction of the whole land. I don't see it. No, they took the land intact. So that's not lining up with how Babylon the Great is supposed to be destroyed. Because in the scriptures, when it's talking about Babylon being destroyed by fire, it's not talking about ancient Babylon. It was claimed the city was taken without a fight. Whoa. The scriptures talk about, when the Lord returns, man, and he destroys this kingdom at the end. The book of Esdras said they were so afraid, but yet durst fight. So again, not lining up. Although documents of the time indicate that repairs had to be made to the walls in some sections of the city, and so perhaps the action was not as effortless as the Persian account claimed. but it was transferred. It wasn't destroyed as a whole, and it wasn't overthrown as Sodom and Gomorrah was overthrown, like we just read. Okay, now let's go to Daniel, the 5th chapter, because we can get the other perspective, the spiritual perspective, and then we'll be able to connect and be like, oh, snap. The Lord was controlling everything. He's orchestrating everything. We're going to read this in the NLT, Daniel 5:1. It says, many years later, the king Belshazzar gave a great, dang, this is just so dope, man. When people don't understand that the history of the world is in the scriptures. And really, when you understand it, the history of the world and the Lord's orchestrating all these pieces, Israel will understand their importance and their place in the world. They will understand that they're a regal people. And when you understand that you come from a regal people, even though 2/3 of our people will still be out here being wicked, they will understand that there's a certain standard and a way they got to operate. Anyway, Daniel 5:1 in the NLT. Many years later, King Belshazzar gave a great feast for 1,000 of his nobles, and he drank wine with them. While Belshazzar was drinking the wine, he gave orders to bring this is that great feast that we read about in the article. While Belshazzar was drinking the wine, he gave orders to bring the gold and silver cups that his predecessor Nebuchadnezzar had taken from the temple in Jerusalem. And this is mentioning this to show you that this recompense coming upon them is for the sake of the children of Israel. He has the stolen Tupperware from the temple of the Most High in his hand. He's drinking. He got that proud spirit on him. He wanted to drink from them with his nobles, his wives, and his concubines. So they brought these gold cups, taken from the temple, the house of God in Jerusalem, and the king and his nobles and his wives and his concubines drank from them. While they drank from them, they praised their idols and made gold, silver, bronze, and iron wood made of gold, iron, silver, bronze, wood, and stone. Suddenly they saw the fingers of a human hand writing on the plaster wall of the king's palace near the lampstand. The king himself saw the hand as it wrote. So he caused his gaze to divert over to the wall, and the Lord had an angel write his end, what it was going to be. While they were drinking out of the cups from the temple of Jerusalem in pride, worshiping their other gods, thinking that they have overcome the God of Israel. So the Lord's getting ready to humble their ass. Now you jump down on they went and got Daniel to interpret what was written on the wall. And verse 16, they went and got Daniel, right? It says, I am told that you can give interpretations and solve difficult problems, and Daniel did this plenty of times. If you can read these words and tell me their meaning, you will be clothed in purple robes of royal honor, and you will have gold chain placed around your neck. You will become the 3rd highest ruler in the kingdom. All right, just like Joseph, you know. All right. Daniel answered the king, keep your gifts or give them to someone else, but I will tell you what the writing means. And that probably threw the king for a loop, like this dude, what he on, you know? But verse 18, it says, Your Majesty, the Most High God gave you sovereignty, majesty, glory, and honor to your predecessor Nebuchadnezzar. He made him so great that the people of all races and nations and languages trembled before him in fear. He killed those who wanted to kill and spared those who wanted to spare. He honored those who wanted to honor and disgraced those who wanted to disgrace. But when his heart and mind were puffed up with arrogance, he was brought down from his royal throne and stripped of his glory. You see, the same way they're operating in the midst of that feast. And Esau's operating in that fashion. They're outright speaking out against the Lord in this time. What Noah Harari, whatever his name is, he had that speech. We can make our own water. We don't need the gods of the Bible. They got guys like this in the forefront speaking. And if they speaking like that in the forefront, what are they saying behind doors? You see? So they're in the same spirit that Belshazzar and his people was in. So what is the Lord going to do? He's going to humble his ass. Verse 21 in the NLT. He was driven from the human society. He was given the mind of a wild animal. So Esau is going to be brought back to that lower state, man, upon his fall. To that caveman, you know, that cave-like, the beast man, like you're talking about in Planet of the Apes. He's going to be brought back to that lower state, man. He's going to be made clear that he's the base man. And people going to look at him like it talks about in Isaiah the 14th chapter. They're going to say, this was he who was, let me just go get it. This is how people going to look at Esau in the kingdom. Narrowly look upon thee. This is Isaiah 14:16. And actually, I'm going to start at verse 12. Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? They're enlightened on the left-hand side. Lucifer means light bearer. Son of the morning. How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And that's what Esau has done. Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, La'ab, the mind, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. He wants to rival the Lord. He wants to overthrow the Most High. The same way Belshazzar and Nebuchadnezzar, they thought they had overcome the God of Israel. All right, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, a low condition. Hell and heaven are living conditions. Okay, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Sit in the dust, there is no throne, like it talks about in Isaiah 47. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, because I mentioned to you, he's going to be brought back to that low, that base caveman-like estate. Verse 16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? All the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden underfoot. Man, this dude is going to be brought low, man. He's going to be humbled in the sight of everyone, and everybody's going to know who's the wicked. And those that were in bed with him, they're going to reap judgment too. Right? That whole council in Psalms, the 83rd chapter, all those nations were in cahoots with them. They too have to receive judgment. You understand? But in Daniel, the 5th chapter here, let's go back to it. Just jump down. I'm just going to jump down to the point I want here. So Daniel's breaking down the message, and this is in the NLT. This is verse 25. It says, this is the message that was written. Mene, Tekel, and Parsin. This is what these words mean. Mene means numbered. God has numbered the days of your reign and has brought it to an end. Tekel means weighed. You have been weighed on the balances and have not measured up. Parsin means divided. Your kingdom has been divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Then Belshazzar's command, Daniel was dressed in purple robes, a gold chain was hung about his neck, and he was proclaimed the third highest ruler in the kingdom. That very night, Belshazzar, the Babylonian king, was killed, and Darius the Mede took over the kingdom at the age of 62. So we're given both sides, man. You can look up the secular history and say, okay, damn, that lines up with what scriptures say. Then you know it's true. It checks out. Because the impenetrable source, the highest authority that we can speak on, is the word of God. Okay? So if it don't match up with the words of the Most High, it don't check out. Yeah, man. So I wanted to show you guys that clip. We didn't go out this Tuesday. But brothers are doing live shows, and I'm a little out the way, so I just figured I'd do this lesson here. Nothing that the wicked say is to be trusted. The scriptures even tell you that, his words are smooth as butter, but his heart was to draw a sword. Paraphrasing. This man isn't for you, and it's coming out every day that he's not for you. Just recently, the elder Malcolm from Chicago put this up, the article up with the guy speaking about that you now can go sue these companies that were in the FDA because there was information omitted about the serpent's, juice, the hokey pokey. And all those people have permanent heart damage. All these people that trust you, the thing they were trying to force you to take, making you out to be the devil if you didn't take it, is giving you permanent heart damage. Never trust thine enemy. So with that being said, I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right? May the blessing of election be upon your house, man. Shalom.